I just, I like this question. Sort of an addendum to Ted Cruz question. This is from Ted Cruz on Twitter. Have any of the House managers had sexual relations with the Chinese communist spy? Please explain.
I know the fact that you're scary fact that
Please explain because it makes it sound official. All right, Ben, take us home.
I did go to the house today. Ooh, kitty cat. This looks like a dog. Hey, this is a dog.
Actually asked a very serious question of Neil Gorsuch during the nomination hearing. Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? I'd love to hear every senator's opinion on that important question.
Can I break the window?
I love it. These were all brilliant. You guys, thank you so much to everyone on the couch. Kennedy, Dagan McDowell, Jillian, and Ben Dominich. We appreciate you all. Have a great rest of your day. Now, here is America Reports. And this is a Fox News alert. More than 150 million Americans under winter weather advisories across the country. And this, a live look at Indianapolis at this hour facing near whiteout conditions. You can see where they've had to wipe off the camera there. Frigid temperatures, heavy snow, dangerous wind chills, and those record low temperatures are happening in many U.S. regions. 2 million people are now without power in the state of Texas alone. And dangerous driving conditions in Oklahoma causing a fiery pileup there. And now the storm is expected to move towards the Ohio Valley and the Northeast tomorrow. We are watching that for you. Meanwhile, this is another alert. Democratic governors from coast to coast facing growing backlash over their handling of the coronavirus pandemic. Hello, everyone. I'm Sandra Smith. Hi, John.
Sandra, how are you? Good to see you today. I'm John Roberts. Welcome to another edition of America Reports as we kick off a brand new news-filled week in New York. Republicans, even some Democrats, are pushing to strip Governor Andrew Cuomo his emergency powers. This after one of his top aides admitted the administration downplayed the number of nursing home residents who died from COVID.
Republican Congresswoman Elise Stefanik slamming their response as shameful. There was obstruction of justice, and this is not about politics. This is about people's lives. And what was so shameful about the transcript that was released was the secretary to the governor didn't apologize for the number of deaths, didn't apologize for the policy, but apologized for the political fallout that faced Democrats. It's a disgrace.
Big show ahead for you today. Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace of South Carolina is standing by to talk with us.
We look forward to that. We begin our coverage with William Levin. The California governor there, Gavin Newsom, and Brian Young looking for us. Brian, we'll start with you. Has Governor Andrew Cuomo reacted to the
Sandra, good afternoon. No, he has not responded. In fact, he has not held a public press conference since last Wednesday. And the reality is this is all happening as there is a growing number of Democrats who are joining Republicans in calling for accountability for New York Governor Andrew Cuomo after his top aide, Melissa DeRosa, told top state Democrats last week that the administration purposely withheld the true number of COVID-19 deaths in the state's nursing homes because they fear that the Trump administration would weaponize that information to politically attack them amid a Department of Justice investigation into the state's handling of the nursing home crisis. New York Democratic Ron Kim, who lost his uncle to COVID-19 in a New York nursing home, says there is a majority consensus among state Democrats to open an investigation into Cuomo and to strip him of his emergency powers that give him unilateral authority to make pandemic policy decisions.
Lie about life and death information to the public. The entirety of the data was disclosed, and we will ensure that we put safe staffing in nursing homes and done a number of things to save lives.
At least 14 New York State Senate Democrats also agree that there should be that Cuomo should be stripped of his emergency powers. We now know some 15,000 nursing home residents have died of COVID-19 in New York. That is much higher than the 8,500 that the Cuomo administration was telling us for the better part of the last few months.
I need to test
Sandra.
Brian Yanis, thank you.
I'm not the only one in the room.
COVID cover-up coming up. We'll talk to Dutchess County, New York executive and former governor candidate Mark Molinaro at the bottom of the hour.
This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill.
go to sleep now. I want to go to sleep. Sleepy time, sleepy time, sleepy time, sleepy
National
time, sleepy
correspondent
time,
William
sleepy time.
Lajeunesse is live from Los Angeles for us now with the latest on all of this. Hi, William.
Well, John, some of the signatures will obviously be thrown out, so they need that closer to 2 million just to be safe. But with 30 days left to collect those, it is fair to say a recall vote in California looks likely probably this summer. Something else. 54% of voters in January. Sharing photo ops with local large media. Newsom's problems, lockdowns that put many small businesses out of business, and a crisis in crime. The sanctuary state that critics say used COVID as a cover to release thousands of inmates. So here's what's critical. Technically, a recall involves 2 votes. On the ballot will be 2 questions. One is the recall, up or down, and if the original majority, Governor Newsom remains governor. If he loses, the second question becomes relevant. His replacement, with the most votes, will win. It could be just maybe 20% of the total vote, because you could have maybe 100 candidates. Right now, there are 2 or 3 major Republicans, John, but do you expect...
Time to get up to that 2 million that they want, so that they've got a buffer. And Sandra, it looks like signature verification, as that one official was saying, may take away a number of votes, but they hope to have the 1.5 million, which is the threshold by the time that all of this is said and done. That's still a mere fraction of 17 million who voted for the federal election back in November.
One can make the case that this is not getting the obvious media coverage that it should be getting and the attention it should be getting. And this morning, John, there was a lot of anticipation to see if the governor would be holding his weekday news conference, as we came to expect every single day during this pandemic. It is a holiday, but that news conference did not happen this morning. So we look forward to reaction from the New York governor. As soon as we get it, we'll bring it to our viewers. Meanwhile, the CDC has released guidance for the reopening of schools. The White House is pushing schools to resume in-person learning 1 day a week by April 30th. But critics are clearly saying that is just not enough. South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace writes on FoxNews.com, the kids are all right. Open schools now. I'm a mom. I know how bad this is for our students. She joins us now. Hey, Congressman, welcome. Glad to have you back. You're a mom.
Hey, James, when you get home, I want you to get your load out of the dryer.
Age is, but not
The other
just
load in the dryer,
academics,
okay?
but socialization. I know
I
this
need
has had a big
circle my
impact on
laundry.
your family, but we looked at the statistics, but we can also look
Okay, when you
anecdotally
get
at what
done,
this
you
is
go
doing
to
for our
tomorrow.
children across
Then you
the
go up there and
country.
hang him
What are you
up.
seeing?
Well, it's staggering, and thank you for having me on again this afternoon. I'm a single working mom of 2 kids, and I know how tough
That phone's
it
getting put
is
up
to have
when we get
virtual
home.
learning for literally the last year of school. It's extremely difficult.
I'll finish
And
this
we
one
have the
first,
CDC, we have science, we have Dr. Fauci, everyone from the Biden administration that with precautions in place, it's a safe learning environment for our children. We should be doing it, but the Biden administration wants to ignore the science, wants to ignore the CDC. We should be listening to our parents, the CDC, the science, and not teachers' unions at this point. We need to get our kids back in school. We need to give parents the option of educating their children.
Congresswoman Mace, on the subject of the CDC, of course, you released those guidelines on Friday, talking about community transmission level recommendations. Full in-person learning only in areas where transmission is low. 90% of the school districts across the country don't meet that criteria, and if the CDC guidelines are strictly followed, some schools that are currently in full in-person learning might have to shut down. So, you know, we have the CDC guidelines on one hand, we got the, we got the push from unions on the other hand, and yet this doesn't seem to be fully pushed toward getting kids back in school.
No, that's right. And I have a district in my area where the students are half of 1% are 19. And we really need to look at the data. $68 billion towards the expedited reopening of schools, and only $4 billion has been spent. Meanwhile, you've got 31% of teenagers and kids heading to the ER with mental health issues. And we know when there are precautions in place, when you're washing your hands, you're 6 feet apart, whether or not teachers, the CDC says teachers don't even need to be vaccinated, but I'm willing to say, hey, let teachers have the option of being vaccinated to do the right thing for our children. They're really suffering, and we should put not teachers
she's seeing happen there. She says, quote, when you have unions that have other aspirations beyond being a union and maybe being something akin to a political party, then there's always going to be conflict. I think ultimately, she says, they I mean, that's an amazing thing. No, absolutely. And look what they did in Virginia, where you have teachers we cannot allow these two teachers unions to bully parents and children. We need to get our kids back in school. Give parents the option. I recently, in the last week or two, my kids have the option to go to school 2 days a week. We're going to do that. I wish it were 4 or 5. But that should be every parent's choice, not the government, not the unions. It should be us making these decisions for our kids.
And of course, something that's tied with getting kids back to school is the number of working moms who have had to stay home to look after their kids and to participate in their schooling. It's led to 1 million working moms dropping out of the labor force. That's a stunning statistic.
It's huge, and in fact, what we're looking at, the progress we've had in the workplace over decades now has been taken away because of these policies that we've been putting in place. I'm going to be filing legislation in the weeks to come, and I invite Republicans and Democrats to join me in legislation that would give a tax credit to working families who've been left behind, who have had to have moms come out of the workplace, to ask them out of the workplace to help take care of their children. They're the ones that are truly suffering, and I'm working on this legislation. I've been working on it for weeks, and I'm going to encourage my colleagues to join me in this effort. But this progress has been lost, and we really need to look out for those who are falling behind right now. And those are our working families.
It is a staggering statistic. The female employment participation rate, as far as women in the overall jobs environment in this country, is at more than a 3-decade low. This pandemic really set them back, and I thought it was interesting, Congressman, how you tied this all together to the school closures and women out of work. Where's the urgency from the Biden administration? You know, Michael Bloomberg, I go back to a few years ago, and he said that the school closure situation and tying it to the economy would be the first big test of the administration. How are they doing?
The Biden administration is ironic that the policies that are trying to keep our schools closed is keeping women out of the workplace. I mean, imagine the irony there, because they want to see progress. We all do want to see women at work and having equal opportunities there. And yet these policies are hurting women the most. It's just the irony. I just don't understand it. I feel like I'm screaming from the rooftops sometimes. I just want logic and pragmatic decisions being made by